Welcome back. You're watching Gravitas. Pakistan is cracking down on social media activists critical of the country's military, the government and Islam in particular. Reports from Islamabad have said that 13 people have been detained by the Federal Investigation Agency or the FIA and are being questioned. Among those being targeted is WION's Pakistan Bureau Chief Taha Siddiqui. He tweeted, and I quote, "I feel I'm being targeted for reporting about the army without self-censorship. Freedom of speech is not a crime, but a democratic right. I will not be silenced. I filed a petition against the FIA at Islamabad High Court. I am being intimidated through the counter-terrorism department for performing duties as a journalist." He then received a call from someone claiming to be from the counter-terrorism department of the FIA. The caller asked Siddiqui to be present at the FIA office for interrogation. It appeared that this related to Siddiqui's professional work as a journalist. He refused, pointing out that his work is in public domain and could be easily accessed by anyone. Siddiqui has filed a writ petition now in the High Court in Islamabad requesting that such calls and intimidation by the FIA be ended. Joining us is a senior journalist from Islamabad, Ahmad Shaheen. Ahmad Shaheen, in fact, good evening, Ahmad. The FIA has confirmed this crackdown. Is this even legal?
Well, the FIA hasn't detained these 13 people. The list of 13 people that has been released. They've been asked to come in for a question. I mean, yes, it is legal to call in people for questioning. But as far as maligning any institute or maligning any person is concerned, there are specific laws for that. So it is completely irrelevant for the FIA to ask people to come in and answer their questions, especially in case of Taha, where everything that he's published, he's written is in the public domain like he claims, which is true. So, I mean, it's kind of counterproductive. If they really wanted to crack down on certain kind of people, I think it's more to do with the fact that they want to be seen as cracking down on people who are allegedly defaming army or speaking against religion. They want to be seen doing it rather than do it at this point.
So what recourse do journalists like Taha have? Does moving court even help in a case like this?
I wouldn't have a lot of hopes with the court. I think the recourse, practical recourses are journalist bodies that are pretty strong in Pakistan. Journalist bodies sometimes stay silent when issues pertain to the military establishment, but mostly they're very active, they are supportive, and if a push becomes a shove, I think I would expect them to get involved as well.
You mentioned journalist bodies. There's been a fair bit of condemnation from the civil society and from the international press. Does the establishment even care about what is being said?
I think one of the reasons why there would be curbs is because the establishment does care. If it didn't care about what's being said, then there wouldn't be any curbs whatsoever, ever. So yes, it does care about what's being said. The establishment also knows that, I mean, one thing I do want to clear is that whether or not people are alleging that the establishment could be behind this current crackdown or this series of questioning, it is the civilian government right now which is at the forefront of doing it. The civilian government has been printing ads in the newspapers and has been using this SMS service, sending SMS to the general public, asking them and urging them to report anything that's being said against the military or against the religion. So they have set down the foundation for such questioning to take place. I think it is to please the people, the hyper-nationalists and the ultra-religious people, just to show them that, yes, we are doing something about these miscreants, as they would call somebody who is not abiding to remain within the limits that they want to define.
It's interesting you say that because there's a lot of criticism about Nawaz Sharif as well in the press, and this crackdown is about criticizing the military, not so much the government. So that raises the question, is the civilian government's hand being forced? Because there's another political party, i.e. Imran Khan's party, which is talking about nationwide protests in this regard.
Yes, it's not just Imran Khan's party. The whole opposition is against it. But we have to remember that when the PMLN, the current incumbent government, when they are in the opposition, they're also against any such policies by whatever government there is. So the opposition always plays the other side. The current government is always trying to please the military establishment, whether or not it is the military establishment that's asking to be pleased. It's kind of something that you can compare to the self-censorship of journalists. I mean, journalists are trying to please or not get on the wrong side of the military establishment. It is not necessary that the military establishment has sent them a message to do that.
So, who are the people being targeted in this crackdown specifically, and is there an atmosphere of fear among the journalists?
No, this is a very initial stage of the practical implications of the advertisement campaign that they have been doing. Taha, I understand, works as your bureau chief. He's in the list of the 13 people allegedly released by the FIA. He's the only journalist from that list. Other people are bloggers. Usually, all of them have been identified not only by their name but their Twitter handles. So this is more, I think, to do with their social media presence and their comments, and obviously as far as a journalist is concerned, publishing their own stories, sharing them with the general public. This is more to do with that. It's not alarming. I mean, it should be alarming, but for Pakistan scenario, it's not as alarming as other situations would be. This is just the culmination, the start of showing efficiency by the government to show that yes, we are loyal to the causes of the military being an untouchable sacred cow, and religious sentiments, they were holding them very, very, very sacred. This is just to show the efficiency. I think it depends on how much the pressure is mounted on the government to do more. If the government is supposedly, not doing enough and it feels that it needs to do more, then that would be a bigger concern. Right now, they're just showing efficiency, asking questions, harassing one particular journalist right now. The other ones are social media activists. This could escalate depending on how the government feels it needs to show its loyalty to the causes of nationalistic approaches and sensitivity to religious discussion.
So help us understand, what does the law say, Ahmar? What is the red line? Can you not talk about the military? Or can you talk about the military but not question it?
The law is very clear. The law is very clear on issues talking. I mean, you can talk about anything as per the law. Of course, there is freedom of expression enshrined in the law. But there also is very clear-cut. There are clear-cut laws not to malign any institute, be it military or be it the FIA or the elected government or its other arms. So it is very clear. The law is very clear on not to malign any of the state institutions. The question is, like, who is maligned? If an army general, takes over, goes beyond his powers and takes over a democratically elected government, then is the journalist reporting or condemning it, is maligning it, or is the army general responsible for maligning their institute?
Right. Ahmar Shaheen, thanks very much for sharing your thoughts with us on this. We're taking a break here on Gravitas. Still ahead on the show, who is Leo Varadkar and why is he a headliner in Ireland?